the 3rd, 2026, and the year is starting off with a fucking bang already, negatively.
To New York City, where he will be brought
to special report, the United States have invaded a sovereign nation in the country of South America. Venezuela has been invaded by the United States military. The president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife have been captured, and they're now on their way to the United States, probably going to be held in Guantanamo Bay before they send them to the detention center in New York City. They captured Maduro early this morning in the AM, like they normally do. It was about 2 a.m. in the morning when the United States Special Forces Delta Force went in and grabbed his Maduro's wife and himself from the presidential residence. And yeah, man, starting off with a bang, bro. Starting off with a bang. The United States government has invaded Venezuela. Remember, Venezuela used to be a destination in the showcases on The Price is Right, if y'all remember. It's actually now considered a third world country by the United States government. They've already seized the oil facilities, the oil wells in Venezuela. They have U.S. troops. There's not U.S. troops on the ground as far as in the capital city. Attorney General Pam Bondi just said that Maduro will be arraigned in New York City for crimes, war crimes and things like that, or at least crimes against the United States of America, which led this guy Donald Trump to go ahead on and invade. It's crazy. Would find a secure environment where he would be away. I'm watching it. I'm watching the reports real time now on CNN. And as the reports are coming in, the Colombian government rejects any unilateral military action that could aggravate the situation or put the civilian population of Venezuela at risk. President Gustavo Petro wrote on X, without mentioning the U.S. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel, slammed what he called a criminal attack by the U.S. government on Venezuela in a post on X as well. So there's been a lot of mixed reviews, reviews on everything. President Donald Trump said that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are aboard the USS Iwo Jima heading to New York. So they're not going to even take him to Guantanamo. He's going straight to New York. A team of FBI agents were with the U.S. Special Operations Forces who carried out the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. According to people that were briefed on the matter, and plans are now in the works to take Maduro to New York, where he will face charges in Manhattan federal court. Now, this man is the president of a sovereign nation that has their own rules and laws. And Trump announced early this morning, that the U.S. carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela. And from what I saw in the pictures or in the videos, they were bombing the shit. They were bombing the shit out of Venezuela. I mean, they dropped a lot of ordnance. I can't imagine that civilians in Venezuela did not get killed. There's no way that civilians did not get injured with this largest strike that Trump said that they did. But the surprising thing is, man, they got him and dude's wife. They flew him out of the country. He wrote on Truth Social, Trump did, adding that there will be a few conferences at Mar-a-Lago today at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So those meetings are going on right as we speak. And I'm gonna tell you right now that there's no fucking way. There's no way the United States. My son is in the Navy, and I think he's in that battle group that they formed. I'm sure since he's a support ship, he's not in the main front, but he's in the waters in the area of where all this is taking place. I don't know anything. He hasn't, obviously as a sailor in the United States Navy, if they tell them something, what's going on, with this effort, they're not going to talk. He's not going to tell me about it. He's going to mention, he'll probably, from what I've gathered from my son, he say, oh, we're in the area. That's all, he can't really, and I respect him for that because I was in the military, I was in the Army. And if there was and I was in the Army when the wall was up. I was in Europe doing border duty against East Germans, and I did see some Czechoslovakian soldiers before. This is a crazy world we living in right now, man. Now, I would be remiss to say that stuff like this hasn't happened before in the United States. A lot of people forget about all of the conflicts that we've been involved with, especially with countries like Venezuela. First off, Venezuela is small, beautiful. They got pictures, they're showing pictures of Venezuela right now. It's a gorgeous country. It looks beautiful, just like any other metropolitan city in the world. It's a city and blah, blah, blah. And, people are living there, their lives, and they're raising their children. And these governments need to realize that when you affect some type of regime change on another country, especially a country like Venezuela, Colombia, or something, because any of these small countries, Guatemala, what's the other one? There's Nicaragua and places like that. They could be subject to being invaded too. If it gets to a point where countries like the U.S., who's starting to feel, because of people like Trump who are emboldening the elites and business people and Wall Street into thinking that this country is sovereign and it's taking over of other small countries. Don't be surprised if it starts to happen a lot more in regards to small countries who don't have a military. Most of these countries like Nicaragua and Guatemala, they have a military force, but it's insignificantly small in comparison to a country like the United States. And that's just the facts. If a country like in the U.S. it's been a morally, having a moral compass in not taking advantage of countries like Venezuela. Even though in the past, we've invaded Grenada. We even invaded our neighbor Panama. There's been an agreement with Panama and the United States for many, many years because of the canal. But then there was a discrepancy with Manuel Noriega, who was the president at the time. And he decided he wasn't going to do some stuff that the United States wanted him to do. And therefore, they needed to do regime change on him. I'm guaranteeing you, this same situation happened in Venezuela. Maduro was cool with the United States for a long time when they had those leases for those oil fields that they have and all the oil reserves. But once those leases were up and they kicked those oil companies like Exxon and 76 and Chevron out of the country, that's when all of this started. Their country's main source of revenue and power is a lot of it is that oil that they have. They're not a drug country. They're not shipping. If anybody's shipping drugs from Venezuela to the United States, it's it's not under the government's watch. I can guarantee you that. They're not making, if you think that a country of Venezuela's size would use their oil reserves, which is the backbone of that country's monetary system or money, and take some of that money and go buy, drugs, fentanyl, which they say is it's the major fentanyl producer in the world. Get the fuck out of here, man. The American government will create a boogeyman. They will create a boogeyman to further whatever interest, for them to go, somebody died tonight or this morning, however you want to put it. Somebody in Venezuela lost a family member, lost a son, lost a daughter, lost an aunt, lost an uncle, grandfather. Well, somebody died today for money for the United States government. And they're going to hold that man and they're going to use him, Maduro, I'm saying, the president of the country, and they're going to say that he was the dictator. They're going to say that he was dogging the people. They're going to say this. They're going to say that. Let's just stop for a minute. Let's just say that that's true. And he was doing the things that they were doing. Let's just say he was just as bad as they say Idi Amin was, or Muammar Gaddafi, or any of these leaders of small foreign countries that would have the audacity to defy or say something negative about the United States of America. And the only reason why America would invade Venezuela, wow. Now this is a shocker to me. Breaking news, Venezuelans celebrate in the streets after Maduro's capture. Now that is shocking to me. That is shocking to me. It seems like the people in Venezuela are celebrating the president being taken.
In Doral, Florida, actually is home to one of the largest Venezuelan communities in the United States, in the Venezuelan diaspora.
Listen.
An impromptu celebration broke out. This is just at a gas station. So there was celebration initially, but of course, as we've emphasized, within the country of Venezuela, a silence. A silence on the streets and a silence right now. Rafael Romo joins me. Rafael, as I've pointed out during our coverage throughout today.
That's crazy, man. So those people down there in Venezuela wanted regime change. I'm going to tell you something right now. Just like a lot of people in the United States, this is just my opinion. I don't live in Venezuela. I have no idea how those people were living. I have no idea what kind of a person that Maduro was. I have no idea what he had the police in Venezuela doing to people or suppressing them. I don't know. Now, American government will say to a person like myself who disagrees with them doing what they did, they'll say you don't have enough information. We know what's going on in Venezuela. We know how Maduro's treating his people. We know that he is a drug, he's bringing fentanyl to the United States, all this other stuff. Let's just say all of that is true. What about all the other countries that have leaders like Maduro? What about Putin? What about Xi in China? You guys say, what about Israel for that matter, who killed over 200, just like Dave Chappelle said on his special recently, that just came out, that over 260 journalists were killed who spoke negatively about the country of Israel. Don't you think those are neophyte-ass leaders as well that want to, suppress their people? Putin had a Russian reporter liquidated for speaking against him. The only difference between Maduro and these guys is America's not afraid of Venezuela. That's the difference. They know they have them by the balls. You've been to school. If you're watching this live stream right now, you've been to school. You grew up in the United States. You've been to school. Hell, it didn't matter what school you went to. There's bullies everywhere. And you know goddamn well if somebody was bullying you, they think you're weak. And they think you're the type of person that they can bully. The United States is no different than any bully that you've had from kindergarten, elementary, junior high, all the way to high school. They know who to pick on. They know who to fuck with. They know who they can step on. They know who Jordans they can take from somebody. Hey, them some nice ass Jordans. Give me them motherfuckers. United States knows who they can bully. Regardless of what I just saw on CNN of those Venezuelan citizens cheering the capture of their own president, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what was going on over there for them people to subsequently cheer the capturing of their leader. I don't know what's going on over there. But I would not be surprised or remiss to learn that over the last several months that they've been doing a smear campaign. The United States got enough money to do this. It's called propaganda. They can send a gang of people inside of Venezuela to walk around and tell the people, you got to fuck that president, you got to fuck that president, you got to fuck that president, you got to fuck that president. And make those people turn against their own means. Now, the only reason why a lot of people would turn on a leader is a couple reasons. One, if he's a good leader and they turn on him, they were paid to turn on him. Or two, he was a fucked up leader, real vindictive and doing people dirty. And a lot of people know about that over there. And the American government knew it too. And they go over there and they even further make the people hate the current leader. It's easy to do when you're a bad leader. It's harder to do when you're a good leader. But you still can get people to turn on a leader of a small nation because money talks and bullshit walks. They've probably promised those people over there, if we get Maduro out of here, we're going to put in a system of government where all of you will be able to prosper in your own country as people prosper just like in America. What the Venezuelan people don't seem to understand is this. America ain't popping like you think it is. It's not. And that's just the facts. For you to see your own countrymen, I don't even know if Maduro's Venezuelan. One thing about these countries is that somebody could transplant themselves into their country, but I'm pretty sure he's Venezuelan. I don't know that to be a fact that he's not. But I've seen other people come from other countries and become the leader of that said country. Because the country will adopt that person for whatever reason and love them and like them and, you know what I'm saying, and support them. I don't know if that's the case in this particular situation. But all I know is the United States of America, once again, has stuck their goddamn feet in somebody else's backyard. And they're pretty much they're pretty much doing whatever they want to do as normal, especially with the dude that's in office right now as the president of the United States. We're going to have a long 3 years. Now, November 3rd of this year, 2026, there will be a vote, not for the presidency, but there will be votes for a lot of senators, a lot of congressmen, and also they'll be voting to take control of the House, the Senate, and be able to block anything that Trump is trying to do from here on out. That's November 3rd this year. So if you don't like what's going on, if you have a child in the military like I do, I have a 27-year-old son that's on one of those ships out there in that blockade or in that task force, whatever you want to call it. If you want our military to protect these sovereign borders, the United States, if you want our military to do real work in regard to peacekeeping around the world, and depending on what country that is, because there's some countries who don't have no infrastructure, no leadership worth a damn, that does need help in peacekeeping efforts. If we stayed in that way, and we need to start looking more inward. They're not going to do this. I can talk to them blue in the face about this. We need to start looking more inward than outward when it comes to, our country. We need to make this place like they said and what they ran on, these fucking MAGA fucks. Make this country great again. Stealing oil. Trump says this. Listen to this fucker. He's talking right now.
The oil infrastructure.
That's the only reason why they're over there.
For the country. The moment now met by
Trump U.S. will run Venezuela and rebuild their oil infrastructure.
Little clarity, but saying U.S. troops will be on the ground to secure oil.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
Is en route to New York.
those U.S. troops that are on the ground in Venezuela to protect them oil fields, they're gonna be. There will be a contingent of people that's gonna try to fuck them up. I promise you. I don't care what pictures they showed of Venezuela citizens. Look at them bombs blowing up.
Multiple explosions seen rocking the capital.
Look at that. I mean, they fucked Venezuela up this morning. They shot 200 or 300 tomahawks on that country.
After accusing the U.S. of conducting a military assault, saying Venezuela will never be slaves or a colony of any empire. Her comment appearing to undermine.
They got a Navy Academy? Wow. Kago Observatory, Fort Toledo military base. They got a bunch of military out there. Them motherfuckers didn't get a chance to do shit. They destabilized their military fast.
Although there were some clues he gave himself on his Truth Social. What are you learning this hour?
I had to watch this morning, man. I could be watching football. I could be doing all that bullshit. But let me tell you something. This crazy ass situation right here. Crazy. Let me say it again. Crazy. I'm laughing. I'm laughing because you got to laugh this shit off. This world is completely and utterly based on killing, death, power, theft, immorality, everything, all of it. There's no reason why nobody should be getting killed over there. I don't care how much oil they got. America got plenty of money. But what's the problem with this presidency is they've stolen a lot of the money that they so-called, the Doge and all these people that's found all this so-called overspending and money they said they found. Them motherfuckers stole that money, man, and the coffers are dry. So they got to come up with some more money. They're going to steal billions upon billions upon billions of dollars of Venezuelan oil, and they're going to leave that country fucked up. It's going to people who it's going to be women in that country. I hate to say this to the Venezuelan people about them, but you're going to have some women who are families, who had kids. They're going to be out there on the whole stroll because the country it's going to fall into a super third world ideology. I'm telling you, it's going to be fucked up over in Venezuela. From the views of the video of Venezuela, it looks just like the States. Got traffic lights and big buildings. It's real pretty over there. I don't see unless the money's not filtering down to the people. And see, that'd be the biggest issue to what. Look at people. They looking all outside their apartments and shit. It's nice out there. It is nice in Venezuela. It ain't third world. That shit beautiful. They've been building and doing all kinds of shit over there. But they got smoke plumes all over the fucking city now because missiles raining down. You can't tell me innocent people didn't get killed from that. Innocent. Not military. Regular Venezuelan citizens. And you guys are cheering that they took Moderna. What about your dead citizen people, your kinsmen? This world is crazy. Trump, Rubio, and Hexter will work with a A-team to run Venezuela. So now, not only do we have to run another country when this country is being ran into the fucking ground, there's a lot of problems in the U.S. and you got the balls to say you guys are going to run Venezuela? Are you fucking... This world, make this shit make sense, bro. Make this shit make sense. Trump on Venezuela, we're going to run the country. How, nigga? How you going to do that? I don't know how to say it. It's Higuerote, Venezuela. They were bombing the shit out of it. It's on fire. There's a lot of places in Venezuela that's on fire. Well, that is a special report. I'm actually not doing that great today. I'm not feeling well. Had a real rough night last night. I guess doing all of that shit was going on. I didn't know this was going to happen. I've been talking about this on Corner Show podcast for the last few weeks. I knew they were going to invade eventually. But I don't know why I had such a weird, visceral reaction to it. I don't think because of me not sleeping. I mean, I got a headache and I just feel weird. I didn't sleep well. But I had to do this special report. Once again, the United States has invaded and captured President Maduro and his wife, and they're now on their way to New York City to be indicted on charges of crimes against the United States of America, as well as the Venezuelan people. And Trump says that the United States will run Venezuela until further notice. So that's where we at right now, man. I hope y'all having a great weekend. God bless y'all. Keep your family and everybody close. And keep watching, man. Keep watching the news and make sure. And remember, choose the news that you know is going to tell you the truth. If it's the internet, stay on there and learn what's going on from there. If you don't like any of these CNNs, NBCs, and all these different places, because I'm telling you, the media is real washed. So I'm trying to, pick the best source for the news as I can. And as far as I'm concerned, CNN be kinda telling the truth. And the only reason why I say kinda is because, all this media is contingent on kissing ass. So it is what it is. But you can always get the real right here on Corner Store Podcast. I'm going to holler at y'all. Have a great one. Peace.